We are less than a week from SummerSlam. And this past week on SmackDown, things got even more interesting. After weeks of attacks on the Bloodline at the hands of Jimmy Uso, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, had had enough. He showed up on SmackDown and he issued a challenge to Jimmy. Because Roman knows ultimately Jimmy wants Roman, and he wants a shot at that WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So for Jimmy to do that, he's going to have to survive a tribal gauntlet. First up, a handicap match against Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. If he's successful there, he moves on to a fight pit against Solo Sikoa. And here Roman playing some mind games with Jimmy here on Raw. If Jimmy survives the fight pit, then he moves on to a last man standing match against Jacob Fatu. If he clears all three of those hurdles, then and only then will he get a shot at Roman Reigns in the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. But it's not that easy. That match will be an Iron Man match, and it will take place inside Hell in a Cell. Jimmy would accept that challenge, and I can't think of odds being any worse for anybody. But now that his brother's over in WCW, Jimmy's all alone. And up to this point, these attacks have been calculated. He's been one step ahead of the Bloodline. But now he finds himself with an opportunity he couldn't refuse. In a tribal gauntlet, he may not survive. Jimmy gets the win here against Ricochet. We'll see him later this week on SmackDown in a handicap match against Finn Balor and Damian Priest.
The following is a tag team match.
Up next, we've got tag team action. Imperium taking on Gallus. And to say that over the last few weeks, these two groups, these two factions have not been seeing eye to eye is an understatement. These two teams met in round one of the tag title tournament. And in round one, Gallus was victorious. The following week in round two, as Gallus made their way to the ring, Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci would attack them, and ultimately that attack would cost them that second round match. Then last week on SmackDown, Gunther was scheduled to face Braun Strowman one-on-one. Gunther never made it out to the ring, though, as he was jumped backstage by Joe Coffey. The referee here kicking Gunther and Joe Coffey out of the ringside area. They are ordered back to the locker room. Now it's just going to be these four in the ring that will decide this one. Mark Coffey rolls out onto the floor. Got a tag. Ludwig Kaiser coming in. Kaiser able to get back in at the count of 8. No movement from Mark Coffey. And that is going to do it. Imperium, your winners. And I got to think that with as much bad blood as we have seen develop between these two groups over the last few weeks, I highly doubt that this is going to be the end of what's going on between Imperium and Gallus. We've got Zoey Stark up next. She takes on Iyo Sky. We've seen some great competition in the women's division over the last couple weeks. And here we've got two ladies that have been in the universe since day one. And with an influx of new talent on the roster, We've also seen some ladies that have been in the universe for a while become first-time champions over the last few months. Iyo and Zoey definitely want to find themselves in one of those situations. And you can't always wait for a Royal Rumble or a Money in the Bank to get your opportunity. Sometimes it could be a match here on Raw or SmackDown that catches the right person's eye. Here on Raw, Zoey victorious as she defeats Iyo Sky. Good win for Zoey Stark.
The following contest is scheduled for
Next up, we've got sort of a preview of a match coming up at SummerSlam. At least half of a match coming up at SummerSlam. Kevin Owens, who along with his partner Sami Zayn will meet Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams in the finals of the WWE Tag Team Tournament. One of these two teams will walk out of SummerSlam the new WWE Tag Team Champions. Here on Raw, though, it is KO and Trick. Melo and Trick defeated Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa in round 1 of the tournament with a little help from Jimmy Uso. Round 2, they defeated Gallus with a little help from Imperium. And that would be how they would reach the finals. KO and Sami defeated Judgment Day in round 1. And then the Creeds in round 2. Double clothesline, Owens and Williams both down. And now their respective partners, Melo and Sami Zayn, getting in the ring. Referee has seen enough, sending both men to the locker room. Melo and Sami not happy about the referee's decision, but the referee's decision is final. After Kevin and Sami defeated the Creeds, we would see Melo and Trick hit the ring and attack their SummerSlam opponents. And hey, some people might look at the path that Melo and Trick took to get to the finals versus what KO and Sami did to get to the finals. Some people say maybe Melo and Trick took the easy way out. Again, there's no proof that they had anything to do with the outside interference, but they did have a lot to do with the attack after Kevin and Sami defeated the Creeds. Here on Raw, Kevin Owens victorious. Is this a sign of things to come for SummerSlam? Main event time. We're going to see the Viper, Randy Orton, taking on the WWE Intercontinental Champion, Bron Breakker. Breakker, who won his Intercontinental Championship from the man he will meet here in the main event, Randy Orton. It was the Great American Bash, Atlanta. And Bron, in his hometown, able to win the Intercontinental Championship for the first time in our universe. He is a former WWE United States Champion as well as WCW United States Champion. Bron with a huge title defense coming up at SummerSlam against Seth freaking Rollins. Last week here on Raw, Rollins had a match against Finn Balor. Badass decided he wanted to get a front row look at his next challenger. In the middle of that match, Breakker would inadvertently get hit by Balor when Rollins moved out of the way. And after the match, after Rollins was victorious, Breakker would hit the ring and very violently and very viciously attack Rollins. The Viper slithering over for the cover. And Bron Breakker wisely getting his leg on that bottom rope to stop the count. Orton with an RKO. Hooks the leg. And that is going to do it. Randy Orton, your winner here in the main event. And now Rollins music playing. What's going on here? Oh, it was just a distraction as he attacks Bron Breakker from behind. Rollins with a little bit of payback for what happened to him last week.